It's important to have conversations about mental health because depression doesn't always look like the person sulking on the street. Depression can look like this. We hear the word depression a lot, but what is depression? Depression can show up in many different ways. It can show up as anger. It can show up as a smile. It can also show up as irritability. It can show up as sadness. It can show up as a high achiever. It can show up in many different ways. Some people experience situational depression and others experience clinical depression. Situational depression can be brought on by a personal event or world events, and clinical depression is characterized by intense feelings of sadness lasting for more than 14 days, and it's more than just a rough patch. Key symptoms in depression include major changes in sleep and/or appetite, loss of interest in activities, not wanting to get out of bed, not wanting to shower, lack of energy, and suicidal thoughts. And there are different types of depression, including seasonal depression, postpartum depression, and major depression. Pay attention to the severity of your symptoms and also how long your symptoms last, because having a down day is different than having a down month. It's time to be concerned when these symptoms get in the way of everyday functioning. One of the myths that I want to dispel: just because someone's smiling on the outside doesn't mean they're not hurting on the inside. It's a big misconception that you can't feel moments of joy and laughter while being depressed, but that's not true, which is why it's important to still seek help and support for your mental health. Depression is common and treatable through things like one-on-one therapy or group therapy or support groups and medication. And what works for one person may not necessarily work for you, and that's okay. We all have our mental health journeys, and it can take time. A major tip when it comes to depression is check in on your strong friends. Check in on your friends who are always laughing. Check in on your friends who are always smiling, because those can easily be ways to mask how they're truly feeling on the inside. When I've experienced depression, one of my favorite ways to self-soothe is through the self-compassion hug. The self-compassion hug makes me feel really nurtured, safe, and not alone. To learn more, visit nami.org/depression. And remember, you are not alone. Okay, I think I'm okay for now. I'm good.